How's everyone doing? Welcome to the final episode of After the After Hours with your boy TraderPrad. The final day of this week is tomorrow going to be a free fall Friday. Now get ready for tomorrow. Powell going on the microphone. Powell going on the microphone again. Get ready for tomorrow. So I do have a watch list ready, but if you guys are ready, hit that like and subscribe. Hit that like and subscribe. Thank you guys for all the love. Thank you guys for all the support. This is your boy TraderPrad. TraderPrad. But if you guys are ready for this show to get started, why don't we dive into the full screen and hit that like and subscribe. Yo, what is up, people? How's everyone doing? How's your weekend? What did you do this weekend? Were you watching Spain spank England's booty in the Euro Cup today? We got, I think, Argentina game today also. I'm not sure when that game is, the Copa America game. UFC last night, pretty much a sports-filled weekend for me. A little gaming weekend too. Got to sit back, play the new video game called Once Human. Not sure if you guys are into Rust or DayZ kind of zombie survival shooter, but there's a new video game out there called Once Human. It's on Steam, it's on PC. It's not bad. I enjoyed quite a bit of it. Besides that, took care of my dog, took care of myself, and that was all my weekend contained of. But we, as always, on every single Sunday, we got to get ready for all of next week, mainly get ready for tomorrow, but kind of see what's in store for the weekend and have an idea of what kind of stocks and what kind of opportunities will present themselves this coming week. And this week looks very exciting. We got earnings back on board. We got market reversing the whole CPI move on Friday. It looks like the market wants to rally back higher. And not only that, we had a little bit of crazy event over the weekend. We got President Trump who got shot at, and the bullet going right by his ear. A couple conspiracy theories on one side of the theory, and then I can also go on the other side of the theory too. Overall, we're just glad to see that Trump's not dead. We'll be looking forward to see how the situation unfolds. But how does that relate to the stock market? So we want to dive into that topic a little bit. We'll see how DJT will possibly set up for some opportunities where we can make some trades and hopefully make some money on it. And then what does that also mean for Trump's presidential run, and what does that mean for the overall market? So I have a couple topics I want to talk about based on the recent events with Donald Trump and how he almost got assassinated, right? Almost got assassinated in Pennsylvania. That was crazy. So we'll dive deeper into that. We'll dive deeper into some of the stocks that we have in store for tomorrow's watch list. And then if we have enough time, we'll watch a YouTube video, maybe expand our knowledge for trading a little bit more. And then we'll wrap it up with some chess or so. So why don't we dive in? Go to the full screen. Before I do that, let me say hello to my viewers. Let me just grab a quick sip of water. Probably should have done this before stream. But let's say hello to the viewers. Nobody on Twitch or Twitter, whoever talks, but apparently people are watching me there. But if you are watching me, say hello. On YouTube, we got Dieter, Dougie, and TH. Dougie Chill saying, we'll spy 500 tank hard now. I think I have a different theory compared, according for that, so we'll talk about that in a second. Dieter talking about how Bitcoin moving back up. Yeah, that Trump assassination attempt kind of took Bitcoin higher. I'm not sure if there's a correlation, causation of some sorts over there, but you know, it did go up right around that same time. So we'll be seeing if that can catch some traction. Trump has a Bitcoin currency himself. I think it's MAGAA. And anyone who invests into that cryptocurrency is basically funding his presidential campaign, I guess, or in some way. So not saying that one coin itself carried Bitcoin back above 60K, but it's good to see that Bitcoin is back above 60K, and that is also on the watch list. So let's take us to the full screen here and get us started for the day. Turn off the transitions, and I'm gonna show you guys what's in store, starting with the earnings board. Last week we had the banks reporting earnings. We have a couple more banks reporting earnings this week. We had what's it, Wells Fargo, JP Morgan, Citibank last week Friday. Tomorrow morning we have Goldman Sachs, or how I call them, Goldman Sachs, BlackRock. We also have Bank of America on Tuesday. We should have Morgan Stanley somewhere in this week too. Oh, there you go, on the same day. Bank of America, Morgan Stanley, United Health Group, Progressive, Charles Schwab, State Street, Interactive Brokers. So a bunch of names over here on Tuesday. Wednesday and Thursday is getting a little hot. We got ASML, which is a semiconductor name, United Airlines, Johnson & Johnson sometimes gives you some opportunities. We'll see if we can. Alcoa, I've remember traded that before, and a bunch of names over here. But Thursday, Netflix, baby. Doo-doo. Watch this, guys. Alexa, turn on Netflix and chill. Hey, we'll leave that on because Netflix reporting earnings this week. So Netflix on Thursday after hours, TSM Thursday pre-market along with Domino's Pizza, and then Friday we got a couple other financial names like American Express coming out to reporting, an oil name Halliburton reporting, and so on. So earnings boards getting very, very active. I'm guessing next week we have probably Apple and Microsoft and so on. Usually if Netflix reports, next week is Apple, Microsoft, Google, and Tesla. So I'm guessing it's then. If it's not next week, then probably the week right after that. So very, very fun week ahead of us. That's the earnings board. We got JD, baby. Jeff D's in the chat. What's up, JD's? How you doing, brother? Long time no see. He's on the Twitch chat, in case you're wondering. T8 saying bars all over Manhattan watching soccer matches. I mean, of course, it's Copa America and Euro Cup time. I'm not even a soccer guy. Even I watched Spain versus England. And England, I guess getting spanked was a wrong word. They lost 2-1, but they got spanked. They got spanked. But yeah, for Copa America, it's sad, obviously, that Canada lost. Argentina, that's Messi. What do you expect? It's the greatest player ever made on the world for soccer. So that, ladies and gentlemen, right there is the earnings board for the week of July 15th. Very, very, very active earnings board. Opportunities every single day. Regardless of the market moving or not, we're going to have names to keep our eyes on and hopefully get some money-making opportunities off of that. As to our watch list for tomorrow, though, here's our watch list, starting with names like DJT, Donald John Trump. And then we got other bank names that are reporting tomorrow pre-market, banks that are already reported, Rivian, Lucid, which have been making some crazy moves recently, so I'm gonna keep an eye on them. Joby, a small cap, not really, I guess a small cap. It's a 300 million flow and has made some wild moves recently, so we'll be looking at Joby. And then we just have our normal watch list that we always have, such as the Magnificent Seven, the semiconductor stocks, the Bitcoin stocks, and the large cap ETFs, even with the IWM small cap ETF on the board, which actually broke out to a new 52-week high. So shout out to the small cap, a little bit of rotation coming into the market from the large cap into the small cap, and on Friday, all three of them were positive. Beautiful reversal on the S&P 500. Here, let's actually show it to you guys. Beautiful reversal on the S&P 500 where it actually broke the all-time high and went higher, but the QQQs struggled in doing that. But the IWM, here's the IWM going to a new 52-week high and pulling back quite a bit after making that 52-week high, but still monster run to the north side nevertheless. So let's start with our watch list. At the top of our watch list, we had DJT, baby. If you're on YouTube, you can see my YouTube thumbnail. It's basically the image of Trump bleeding after the bullet grazed his ear with his fist up in his hand. Okay, so I have some theories. Let's talk some theories over here. I have a theory that this could be faked, right? It could be faked because you know, this puts Trump in a better spot. It could be staged, it could be faked. It just puts Trump in a better spot. The way he was arguing with that one person right before the bullets started going off, and it looked like it was almost like on cue, and it was like, I'm gonna point to you, and then when you point to you, you start going off and whatever. It was like, okay, whatever. The second point I want to go against that point I just said is, you know, it's hard for a bullet to hit the ear and not hit the head, right? You missed by millimeters, by inches, right? You missed so close. So it's crazy that if it was staged, or if it wasn't staged, and if it was an actual assassination attempt, like that shooter was so close from that happening. That shooter was so close from that happening. So it's crazy that we are in a world where this is still a thing. In my office not too long ago, actually, we were talking about how, you know, presidents don't get assassinated anymore, right? Presidents don't get assassinated anymore. The last president that got maybe assassinated, JFK, right? And that was crazy. When JFK actually got assassinated, apparently the market, S&P 500 to be specific, went down by 3%. Went down by 3% on the very next Monday. So in this case, there was an attempt. It was unsuccessful. Does that mean the market, which on CPI day broke down drastically, right? QQQ broke down drastically on CPI day after making a new high in the pre-market. Then on the second day, we kind of went higher. S&P 500 actually broke that day high. Does this failed assassination attempt take the market to another big rally here, and then we get interest rate cuts in the near future, and then the market goes even higher, and then Trump actually ends up winning the president candidacy, and you know, Trump was amazing for the markets before, so that just takes the markets even higher? Like, is this starting a whole new a wave of upside for the market? You know, I had a theory that the market will probably pull back at least 5 to 10% before going up another, whatever this percentage is, another 12%. So I'm expecting like a 5% pullback over here back into 530 area. But with the way the market's moving now, and if you look at previous historical events such as the JFK assassination, and you compare it to this, which is the failed assassination attempt, I mean, is this another whole wave of all-time highs? What's going on here in the market, right? So no real idea in that side. We're just excited because market's getting frothy, market's getting very exciting. We got Money Mitch in the house. What's up, Money Mitch? Oh snap, Pratt for president? No sir. That there's gonna be hit out on my names. I don't want no hits on my names. No, thank you. Swing short Tesla, says Money Mitch. I like him. Tesla actually had like a top candle here, and this move was obviously overextended. I mean, the way we moved from 180 to 280 was ridiculous. It was in a span of a week, right? So a little overextended. I think the short idea was nice right around these prices. On any sort of pops, I am still looking to get short, but that Friday's rally was a little crazy on Friday, man. That Friday's rally was crazy. Not that I didn't expect it. We talked about how the market could easily reverse that CPI day move. We've seen it so many times where the market sells off on good CPI, on the very next day completely reverses that down move and then starts creating an upside strength move. So it's kind of hands off for me on you know, predicting what the market wants to do. That's why I like the fact that we have earnings coming up. We got monster earnings boards, baby. Earnings boards back on watch over here. So names like JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, Citigroup, Wells Fargo, all of them moving. Tomorrow, obviously, we got BLK and GS reporting in the pre-market. But I'm interested to really see how DJT moves tonight in the after hour markets, those the blue ocean, for those of you who have access to that. I think Robinhood traders have access to blue ocean, and if you do have access to blue ocean, please let me know what price DJT spikes up to or gaps up to, because that assassination attempt, failed attempt, should likely take DJT to like a 10% gap up going into tomorrow morning, 4 o'clock or something. So I'm very excited to see what DJT does. I think this is going to be a high priority stock. I'm expecting volume to spike back up to 25 million shares, right around where this little previous spike of volume was at. If it starts bringing in a lot more volume than that, then obviously it'll be crazy to see what happens. Does DJT still have a decent short flow? Let's go take a look at that. 11% short float, and shares outstanding are 189 million. Let's just say 200 million outstanding. So still 11% short float, not bad. And if we start seeing some moves to the upside, those short squeeze can possibly kick in. And this kind of cements the fact that Donald Trump is going to win the presidency. So that should take the stock even higher too. So all things just starting to get crazy on this position. I'm excited for DJT. Number one priority tomorrow, ATR of $3. I think we could possibly see a $5 move if the stock actually makes a decent gap up and brings in a lot of volume. I think we can see a $5 to like $7 move tomorrow easily. But at the moment, with where the stock is sitting, according to the recent past, the stock has a $3.33 ATR, currently bringing in slightly lower volume than its 30-day average. 30-day average is 7 million, and it's just bringing in around 5 million, a little bit less than 5 million shares going into this catalyst. So this catalyst should bring some excitement for DJT. Keep that on watch. The next one on the watch list is Goldman Sachs. At the all-time highs, kind of like JP Morgan, but I'm expecting, like JP Morgan, it's also going to pull back on a good report. Most likely going to pull back on a good report. We'll see how it pans out. Goldman Sachs, if I remember previously, let's actually go here because we have a website that can help us with this. Shout out to Options AI. Come on, Options AI, load up. All right, here we go. Options AI, we want to see Goldman Sachs. And we want to see the earnings move. What is the expected move? 3% up or 3.5% up or down expected. Previously, their moves were pretty muted, as you guys can see over here. 0.97, minus 1.6, 0.71, 2.92. This was the story for the other banks too, so pretty sideways moves overall. but this stock at an all-time high will obviously be breaking out to a new level on that report, at which point we could possibly get a little bit more extension to the north side or possible shorts off of some size on the resistance for us to look for plays over there on GS, maybe like around 500. There's 100,000 shares, 200,000 shares sitting there to be sold. You can possibly get a nice scalp off of there and then possibly even be turning that area into a swing short if the report was mediocre or you know, a decent report, but the stock made a pop into that area. So I'll be watching how the Goldman Sachs plays out, because JP Morgan actually did give you a decent short opportunity if you were watching it. GS on the watch list. BLK, $800 stock, brings in not even 1 million shares, so a little bit lower priority on the watch list. But if you look at the stock on the all-time chart, at which point every single candle's information is 1 month's worth of information, that 845 area looks pretty promising to me. So if you pull back over here, this 845, you can see how double top, clean 845, even dollar price. If for any reason BLK comes out with a positive report and wants to go up, I think it breaks that price easily. So here you can see they're expecting a 3.1% move, a move above that 845 to almost $853 to the upside. Let's see how the stock has previously moved on earnings report. 2.87, 0.88, negative 1.34% move so far. So pretty much nothing burger moves. I mean, these are financial instruments. They're banks. They're not going to move like Nvidia. They're not going to move like Tesla. Anything else that moves pretty crazy? Or Carvana or something, right? So these are banks. They move a little bit slower. They're boomer names, right? They're boomer names. So be careful when you're playing them. You kind of want to not really look for momentum type of setups. You want to look for more patient, get filled on the dips. If you're looking for longs, get filled on the pops. If you're looking for shorts, you don't really want to play breakouts, right? You don't really want to play breakouts. But that being said, Goldman Sachs, all-time high breakout. If it sets up, I'll be interested to punch that. The stocks that reported earnings last Friday, JP Morgan on a good report, pulled back to the downside. I think all three banks actually pulled back down. Wells Fargo, JP Morgan, and Citibank. Wells Fargo pulling back the most, 6% move to the downside, moving right back into a previous support area right here into $55 or so. If we do get below 55, I think the stock can easily go down into $50. So let's see how the stock plays out over there. I think there's a short opportunity if there's some selling getting under $55 at the moment. That low is actually $55.30, and the stock bounced off of $55.50. I'm expecting you actually get a long opportunity instead. So if we go into 55, or if we're hanging out right into Friday's low going into tomorrow and give us a long opportunity into Friday's low, or even this low that I just talked about, basically 55 to 55.50 area, I'll look to get long, because I think we can get a chance to break Friday's high and go higher. That report wasn't bad, right? They beat earnings report. All three banks specifically beat earnings report, but they just kind of got smacked down for some reason, not sure why. But you can see how Citigroup also pulled back all the way into the 21 EMA on the daily chart, and then bounced right off of that, showing you that there's still some buying in these areas. There's buying in these areas where the stocks previously broke out of. So not sure if thinking heavily short is the right mindset on these banks. Just because they moved down on day one doesn't mean the day two move has to be down also. But if the day two move is portraying itself to be down for some reason, then I'm more than happy to join it. And the way you can kind of confirm that is, you know, how is the stock behaving at Friday's close? How is the stock behaving at Friday's low? How is the stock behaving at Friday's VWAP, and so on? So you kind of want to study these areas, because these stock already moved down, right? These stocks already moved down, and if they want to continue going lower, then you'll see one of these areas acting as a resistance tomorrow intraday. And you want to use that intraday resistance forming up into the previous tech levels, giving you an opportunity to ride it lower. So clearly there's a buyer here, but if that buyer evaporates into $63 for Citigroup, they're gonna probably break a little bit lower and go find a buyer somewhere else, right? Basic supply demand kind of mentality that we're applying. For JPM, oh, I'm typing JPM in my watch list. For JPM, I'm not really. I mean, there's same idea as Citigroup, right? You can see buyers came in again. This stock previously broke out of the all-time high. This was the previous all-time high. We broke out of it. After we broke out of the all-time high, we started using that previous resistance as a support, and it's continuing to do that very same thing. But it's still very much in a box here. Even though we broke down, we came right back up. So I wouldn't call this a resolution to the downside, and we clearly haven't resoluted to the upside either. So for JPM, you might want to let it do its thing a little bit. If you guys remember what I said on Thursday's stream, JPM 202, I could actually pull up my watch list right now for you guys. Move to a new tab. Come on. July 12th. So JPM, oh, I did not put 202. I put 204. Never mind. Ignore. But 202, nice bottom formed into 202 where you could have gone long and the stock just kept going higher and higher and higher from there. So good opportunity for you to look long. I think if you watch JPM going into 202 to 204, there's going to be another long opportunity. But Citigroup and Wells Fargo are just in a cleaner setup. JP Morgan, I think I can wait for the resolution a little bit to form up. The next stock on the watch list, Rivian. What a monster breakout. I was talking about the $17 breakout for you guys, and I forgot to set the alert. Man. I even said how on Thursday the stock was doing something weird. It went higher. Let me show you what it was doing. It went higher, then it got stuffed down, then later on in the day it pulled back. I don't think this was the day. Hold up, where was it? This was the day. It went lower, then later on in the day it pulled back and it started going higher. I was like, what the heck? Well, how's this, like, why is the stock getting bought up? And then I meant to put an alert into the $17 area. I didn't do it, and then a monster breakout past 17, going into $18, even $19. It looks like Rivian Motors. Is it Rivian Motors? Rivian Automotive. Rivian Automotive looks like it wants to make that ascent into $20. This was the Volkswagen Catalyst, if I remember correctly, right? Yeah, Volkswagen $4 billion investment news catalyst, and you can see how ever since that news catalyst came out, we first made a gap up, pulled back, formed the support, and then we started going higher and higher and higher. Now I basically want to see how the stock behaves on pullbacks. The 17 to 1450 was a previous boxed area. We broke out of that finally. Now we want to see this area holding as a support. So watching how Rivian behaves on any dips into 17. Keep in mind, it doesn't have to be clean. Look how this behaved, right? We were expecting 1450 to be clean. It wasn't. It broke below 1415, found support under that area, and then it started rallying higher. So it doesn't have to be clean. You might have to fight for this price a little bit if you're looking for a long near 17, but if the stock is getting bought up above 17, the long is even better. If you're having to get long into $17, that's kind of like, okay, this is pretty weird. But if the stock is getting bought up above 17, that's showing you that the buyers are now stepping much higher than previously expected of them to, and they're willing to be greedy for the price. So that's gonna give us an opportunity to look for a long intraday, a possible move into 20, but very, very rarely this is a candle, right? It's a very rare that you see a candle like that. So most likely I'm expecting the stock to pull back into Friday's low, which was $16.75, find some support into 17, 16.70, and then go back into 18, which could possibly give us a good long for us to play with. Friday's high, $19. Lucid Motors, another automotive stock that made an insane run up on Friday. I had a trade. I was a short in front of $4 and it just didn't work, so I just stayed out of it. And what a breakout. I mean, if you took the breakout, you would have gotten instantly 25 cents for maybe risking 5 cents, 10 cents at worst. 10 cents is a lot for a $4 stock, but 5 cents, 3 cents worth of risk, and you could have gotten 25 cents out of that. And Lucid Motors, with the way it's moving, it doesn't look like it's done yet. For me to expect the stock to have support at 4 is a little crazy, but you know, that's where Friday's VWAP is. That's where Friday's VWAP is. So ideally, you want to see the best price for Friday, which is what VWAP indicates. VWAP indicates that this is the best price for this presented action. So if the best price for Friday is $4, and with the way Friday moved, you want to see the stock holding above $4. If it's holding below $4, then it's almost way too easy for it to revert back into these areas, this double top, this triple top from where it originally broke out from. So you want to be careful. So I'm watching how Lucid plays. I'm gonna put 4 as my support, and that's like a line in sand for me. If we get below 4, I'm going to be very scared of looking long, unless the stock can actually prove to me by getting back above 4 and show me buying above 4 for like 15-30 minutes. Show me buying above 4 for a good amount of time before I think long again, right? So I don't want to see the stock trading under that. As for the stock's resistances, I mean, your guess is as good as mine. At the moment, I think there's a short squeeze taking place. How much short flow does Lucid have? 30% short flow, right? So it could be a little bit of a short flow taking place. They had good delivery numbers last Monday. They've been riding on that news ever since. And this could easily be another crazy reversal story like Carvana. Right, crazy reversal story like Carvana, talking about which is also making a rally. All right, guess we have to add Carvana to the stupid list. Carvana with the ATR of 778. All right. Going back to, however, Lucid, monster moves. Your guess is as good as mine. Short squeezes, you never really know where the resistances are, because it depends on where the stops are, whose stops are getting blown out, how big his size or their size or her size is. So it's your guess is as good as mine where the resistance is for Lucid. But as for supports, I want to see $4 hold. Next stop, Joby. Another one that's going a little wild. Not really a short float, but has an okay short component. I think 29%. No, 19%. I messed up on the first digit. 19% shares outstanding. 698 million shares outstanding. So a decent enough float. Electronic aviation company. I believe these were the guys who create those mobile cars that you can buy, or mobile drone cars. I forget if they are or they're not. Either way, doesn't matter. The move is what matters. So this move is getting to the upside, burning some shorts, and the higher the move keeps on going, the more fun we can have to the upside, and then eventually the fun could be also had on the reversal back to the downside. So watching how Joby moves, this move is a little overextended, but it could keep on getting overextended. So be patient if you're looking for the shorts. If you're looking for the longs, ideally you can see how Thursday's high is kind of right into Friday's low. So Thursday's high to Friday low is a little range of area that I would ideally like to see the stock hold up in if we do get a pullback. So that's around $6 to $6.30. If the stock can hold up in that box, I'm okay for looking for the long. You can even maybe look for the long on the breakout of this beautiful number 666, right? Let's see if it can give a breakout past 666. Ideally, I want to look for long and a dip and a hold into $6. That way we can get a monster expansion into 750, because you know, if people get short in this area, and they're watching the stock hold up in this area, they're going to be scared that the stock's going to start punching back higher and they're going to get stopped out on their stop. So you want to see the short sellers coming into the 666 price, them driving the price down to $6, the buyer holding the $6 price, scaring the short sellers, then the short sellers start taking some of their size out. That's gonna create that little bump up. That little bump up is going to bring in buyers like myself, and we're going to start spiking that stock up slowly higher and higher and higher and higher, and all the stops are gonna get burst out, and we're just gonna start squeezing to infinity and beyond, right? Ideally, that's the plan. So let's see what happens over here tomorrow, going into JOBY and the pre-market and the open market. Carvana. Did not expect to have this one on the watch list, but I just pulled it up to see where this one is, and clearly broke out of this recent high. If you had a alert on that, maybe you would have caught it, but even after breaking out of that, it immediately just pulled back lower and closed under this high. But I guess there's some sort of a play here. If the stock is able to go back into 140, 141 or so, and actually able to have buying above that, maybe you have a long. But if it goes back there and not shows you buying above it, there could be a short opportunity here on Carvana. Carvana is a little ridiculous, but you know, people are coming out and upgrading Carvana. They're saying that this is a big growth reversal story, upgrading the targets on the stock and so on. It's just crazy what people are saying. I don't buy it. I don't buy it. It's a vending machine for cars, right? It's a vending machine for cars, so I'm not buying any of it. But the proof is in the pudding, and the numbers, I think what they reported were good. We'll see how the reports will come out in the most recent report, which will be very soon. How long till they report here? Usually have a date right there, 17 days till they report. And now the rest of the watch list is basically our large cap stocks such as Apple, Amazon, Google. Amazon still getting rejected off of that $200 area because Papa Bezos will not. He just puts down the staff. You shall not pass, and he's just simply not letting the stock get past the $200 barrier. But the stock still seems to keep having some buying opportunities in this area. So 190, let's see if we can get a hold of 190 to look long, to see if Amazon can push through that 200 eventually once Papa Bezos is done selling. Google getting a little bit of a pullback too, along with all the Magnificent Seven, Meta, Microsoft. Market pulled back, right? Market pulled back, a good healthy pullback across the board on most of these stocks. The only stocks kind of that were still irrational, I guess, were Apple. Apple said no pullback, nope, not for me. I'm gonna stay wild still. And Tesla, it had a nasty pullback. This had the biggest pullback of them all. I think Nvidia had an okay pullback too, but Tesla had the nastiest pullback of them all. And this could set up a little bit of a consolidation compression pattern forming up into these areas, at which point you can play the resolution. Now that pattern could either be like this, right, something like that, or it could just be more this way, and then we just get a breakout of this area or a breakout of this area for us to play with. So a little patience on Tesla. I'm gonna play on the extreme prices, like the lows or the highs, if those prices do get offered to me, but I'm gonna be a little patient. I'm not as eager to trade the Magnificent Seven tomorrow as I am to trade DJT, because I think that's going to be having the most excitement, at least I hope, because I want to see what type of opportunity set up over there with the most recent events playing out the way they did. QQQ and S&P 500 had monster reversals, right? It showed us they had sellers, but it also showed us that they had buyers. So once again, we're going into a range where we could easily just compress for a little bit, wait for the big earnings names to come out, such as Apple, Tesla, and so on, and then the market will see what it wants to do from there, right? So a little compression most likely coming in for the next few days, and in that case, I'm not too excited to push the keys on the Mag 7. We got a lot of names with earnings reporting. We got a lot of stocks to keep our eyes peeled out for. Regardless, some semiconductor names are giving some opportunities. ARM looks like it wants to break out over here. Nvidia bouncing off of that 127. That 127 area previously was a solid resistance. Now it's acting as a support. If we get below 127 on Nvidia, there could be a short opportunity right back into the split low to 117. So watching how Nvidia plays below 127. AMD looking to hold off a little bit. Let's see how AMD forms. It's giving you a 3-day solid resistance into that 187 area. Yeah, into that 187. Let's see how AMD sets up. Intel giving you another possible breakout opportunity going into 35, but right now compressing also along with the S&P 500 and so on. Bitcoin sector, Bitcoin crawling back above 60k, after the Trump events, and most likely setting up for some opportunities on stocks such as iBit, Coinbase, Mara. Watch how flat of a base coin is now holding right into these lows, into 213, 210 areas. That could be a short. Long. I wouldn't be surprised if Coinbase actually gaps up higher tomorrow and you don't even get a chance to get long here. But Coinbase looks like a good opportunity to keep an eye on, with Bitcoin crawling back above 60k, showing you that buyers are still here and they are supporting Bitcoin. Netflix had a decent sell-off, and I think Netflix is not going to really move anywhere until its earnings report, which is Thursday after hours. So we can talk about this on that day. Long-term puts, I like SPY, says Dougie. Okay. JP says silver squoze to the north side or something. Is that what you're saying? I mean, not really seeing a squeeze. Previously they did have one, but it's stalling out a little bit. It could possibly have another all-time high breakout. Yeah, it could possibly have another all-time high breakout, which will be interesting. IWM. This is something that I want to keep my eye on more than the QQQ and the S&P 500. This is a big breakout. That the IWM has been struggling with for quite some time now, right? So this is showing that the market is now having a little bit of rotation, but the buying from QQQ and S&P 500 didn't really help out IWM too much. They're still up 1%, but they could have been up more than 1%. And yeah, they pulled back quite a bit. I guess I'm only upset because I was long and I got burnt on it. But IWM, it looks pretty promising. If we pull back into this 211, 210 area and show support into this 211, 210 area, it looks pretty promising for a long opportunity over there. Possible future trades coming into IWM, into QQQ, and into S&P 500. But the number one priority on the list tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, do I even have to repeat it again? BJT. We do have some IPOs this week, if I remember correctly. Two IPOs on the 18th of July. We'll talk about them on the 17th of July, because that's the Thursday. No, that's a Wednesday. So we'll talk about them on the Wednesday, 17th of July. Make sure you tune in and don't miss out, because we'll be learning about what these two companies do. Are they profitable? Are they making money? Are they losing money? What do they exactly do to begin with? And are they going to be setting up for some good long or some short opportunities on the IPO? I am a self-proclaimed IPO expert, and that's because I've yet to lose a single IPO day this year. That's right. And actually, I think I've yet to lose a single IPO day in my whole career. I don't think I've lost a single stock that IPO'd, that I traded, and I've lost on it. This never happened. I may have lost the trade, but overall I net profitable on those IPOs. Alright, I joined. Are you deep in game? I'm level 12 and a little deep. Only play like 3 hours. Okay. So watching IPO calendar, without a doubt. We almost forgot to talk about economic calendar for this week. So let's talk about tomorrow to be specific, because this is important. Tomorrow, there's nothing important besides we got Papa Powell coming up at 12 o'clock. What are you talking about at 12 tomorrow, Papa? What are you blabbing about tomorrow? Okay. Speak on what? And why is you guys always talking? You guys have nothing better to do than talk. Anyways, New York Empire and New York Manufacturing Index coming out at 832 star. 3 month, 6 month auction bills are really not that important, so you can ignore them. It's more the 10-year, 20-year. The longer the time period, the more important the auction. So 3 months, 6 months, I just kind of ignore them. At 12 o'clock, 3-star event. We got Fed Chair Powell coming on and possibly dropping some comments. So be sure market could possibly move a little around that time period. But the last week he was testifying to the Congress or the chairman or whatever, and that didn't really move the market on the first day. On the second day, it moved the market a little bit, but the second day also had a bond auction, which moved the market more than Powell talking, actually. So it's possible the market does nothing when he's talking, but it's always good to keep your eyes, ears, nose, all your 5 senses active when he is on the microphone. So be careful for that one. As for the rest of the week, though, this is where the market economic calendar gets a little bit more active and a little bit more heated. You can see how on Tuesday we got a couple 3-star, 2-star events, most of them at 8:30. Core retail numbers at 10 o'clock. Business inventories, Atlanta Fed GDP, couple more Fed members talking on Tuesday. On Wednesday, we have 8:30 building permits, housing numbers, 9:15 industrial production. Don't really think market moving too much off of those numbers. 10 o'clock, we should have the crude oil inventories. Yep, we have those. 20-year bond auction at 1 o'clock on Wednesday. That's going to be important. Last week we had the 10-year bond auction, so this week we have the 20-year bond auction. That means the very next day we should have the 30-year bond. No, but we have the 10-year tips. Maybe the next week after that we have the 30-year bond. Okay, I have no clue what I'm talking about. But this week, pretty important, 20-year bond auction at 1 o'clock on Wednesday. Thursday, continuing jobless claims at 8:30. A couple other Philadelphia numbers along with that initial jobless claims. Tips options numbers at 1 o'clock on Thursday. You also have natural gas numbers on Thursday for those of you trading nat gas and so on. And then Friday, pretty dead. We got a couple commodity numbers, some Feds talking, but pretty dead on Friday in terms of the economic calendar. Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, very busy. Monday, not so much. Monday, Friday, dead. Middle of the week, woo-wee, busy. So that should keep us, keep the market rolling. That should give us some opportunities to make some money. So let's make this paper, baby. Let's make the sweet cheddar cheese. We got about 15 minutes to either play chess or watch a YouTube video. So let's watch the YouTube video over here, because I want to watch this one with you guys. I've been wanting to learn this, or not learn this, watch this. This is a series that I like a lot from SMB Capital. This series is an amazing series. This guy who does this series, I wish he posts more of these. This bar to bar analysis, it gives you a better understanding of exactly what to look for, like in a chart, bar by bar, how to analyze each single bar as they're playing out, giving you entry reasons, giving you exit reasons, and so on. So I like the way this guy explains those things, and I've been saving this for you guys. I haven't watched it, no pre-watching here. 100% authentic reaction. So let's watch this. Shout out to SMB Capital, guys. Make sure you go hit the follow on SMB Capital. They're almost at 500,000 subscribers. At the same time, make sure you hit the follow on your boy TraderPrad too. I'm almost at 1,100 followers. Hit the follow, hit the subscribe, hit that all that juicy notification buttons and all that fun stuff.
Welcome
Oh, I need to turn down this audio so my mic doesn't pick it up.
back to the Bar by Bar series. In today's trade review, we're diving into some key trades in the semiconductor space that highlight powerful day trading
Some
strategies
Valorant
and
music over
technical
here, dude.
setups. If you're looking to sharpen your trading skills, you're in the right place. Here's what you'll learn watching this video. We'll break down a move-to-move trade on NVIDIA,
Some
showcasing
Valorant
how to
music.
spot and
Okay,
capitalize
SMB, I
on
like it.
consolidation breakouts. You'll see how to execute a back-through-open trade, leveraging key support and resistance levels, volume analysis.
I like
and
that
more.
back-through
We'll also
open.
review a short setup on NVIDIA, demonstrating
short
how to
kinda?
identify and trade in
Opening range breakdown. Oh, this
Let's get
guy
started.
is
So
telling me
jumping
what I
right
want to
into it,
hear.
We're going to look at NVIDIA from June 18th. So on June 10th, NVIDIA's 1-to-10 stock split became effective, and since the split, NVIDIA just continued to run and trade to new all-time highs. As we know, NVIDIA is the strongest stock in the market this year as AI takes the world by storm, and NVIDIA's AI chips hold between 70% and 95% of the market share. So this year, NVIDIA has consistently been on our watch list. It's just the strongest stock in the market right now. And really just the hottest theme in the market. So let's go over a quick and simple trade from June 18th.
NVIDIA has been on the watch list permanently.
That NVIDIA had a hard time getting above this 132.50 area that we have highlighted here. It acted as resistance, and then the following day popped up into this 133, failed, and then that 132.50 acted as resistance again. The following day, my alert went off as NVIDIA crossed over that 133 level. I watched it consolidate above this key level and above the opening range. And it just sat there and consolidated over that key 133 area for about an hour and a half. And you could see it dips down into the 21 EMA, it holds, it's trying to hold, and it's holding over that 133. And then for a moment there, it looks like it's going to break down, but essentially it just forms like a micro double bottom here before reclaiming that 133 and forming a tight consolidation back at the top of this range. Price continued to hold up, and then we got the break. We could simply put on our long on this high volume break, so we have the highest volume bar since the first half hour of the day, confirming our breakout. When we see that volume confirmation, we want to get long over high of day, and we want to risk just slightly below the low of this breakout bar. The reason for the stop is if this move stuffs and takes out that breakout candle, I no longer want to be involved. That's a reversal signal, and that can tell me that the longs that were buying this breakout are trapped. So that's the reason for the stop below the breakout.
I feel like
bar.
I've seen this video
This is
before.
just a simple move-to-move trade, and if we
Did I watch
trail
this
using
actually?
2-minute
I feel like I
bar,
watched
or
this with
2-minute
you
bar
guys
lows,
recently already.
we'll get stopped out right below 134.50. So now let's jump into a back through open trade on SMCI.
Yeah, we watched this
On the
one actually on
20th,
last Thursday.
SMCI was gapping over a key resistance level at 950.
Yeah,
and
we watched this one last Thursday.
Elite
Never mind.
Seven-figure traders are great at taking the highly complex and simplifying that down to systems and structures that allow them to do the right thing quickly and without much thought. In this video, we reveal a 5-minute day trading plan that does all traders know. I'm Mike Bellafiore, and we're one of
Ooh, I want to watch this one. I want to watch this one. We actually watched the last one on stream together. I forgot about that. Let's watch this one because I did not watch this one yet. Anything that I've watched, maybe I should move them like a couple tabs over. I'll do that. I'll move it a one tab over. That way I know I've seen them. Okay. Want to watch this one. The Ultimate Guide to Profitable Chart Patterns. 13-minute video by the one and only Lance B. He is now coming out with the amazing content. It's called Magnum Opus, I believe. He also got posted on Wired. If you guys know how Wired hires like these or does these interviews with like Army veteran does reviews of Army movies, or a real cook reviews cooking shows or whatever, right? So they do a real stock trader reviews market questions. So Lance is over here answering those questions, but he's an educator and an advisor to SMB Capital. He often comes on SMB Capital videos, but he has his own content that is releasing to the trading world for free, which I'm excited. It's going to be somewhere at the end of this year. Very, very exciting. Looking forward for that. But this video over here, let's see what we can learn by watching this.
Know about chart patterns, but very few know how to find the ones with a real verifiable trading edge. In this video, 8-figure-a-year prop trader and special advisor at S&B Capital, Lance Breitstein, shares his secrets to finding and trading incredibly profitable chart patterns. I'm Mike Bellafiore, and we're one of the top proprietary trading firms located in New York City since 2005, and proud to develop numerous 7 and even 8-figure per year traders. Watch, take notes, and learn from Lance so you can grow your trading account.
Hell yeah, baby.
What is up, traders? So today I want to do a video on a couple setups, and so often you hear me talk about the importance of comparing different setups versus each other and making these analogies. So many good traders that I know really have this just memorized database in their head of all these really good charts, and that's not really magic. They're getting this database from just studying. And so one pattern that I had pointed out at the time when it was occurring is what happened in this ticker DJT, which is the
DJT
social kind of Trump stock.
Perfect, because we're looking at it tomorrow.
I'll get into the details of this, but this stock reminded me of the setup we ended up then probably about a month later or a couple months later seeing in NVAX. And I challenged traders to compare and contrast these setups to see were both of them worth taking, were either of them worth taking, which was better.
Well, this is a bull flag breakdown, bear flag breakdown, sir.
And so now I'm going to share with you my thoughts. And
it looks like a bear flag breakdown.
Any right answer, right? There's just what is the right answer.
Bear flag into VWAP,
what I think is the right answer,
and then a breakdown below VWAP.
So first things first, with this DJT chart on the left. So the context of what happened is, of course, this is the kind of Truth Social Trump tracking stock. It is one of those SPACs. And so this huge gap up back in March, towards late March, that was on this ticker change. It used to be DWAC. And what we got here on this day, it was some massive volume capitulation. And keep in mind, this ticker's pretty run up. Like we were starting all the way back at $15, and so over a couple months this stock really went up about 5x. And this huge volume day, we opened strong, but then we ended up failing really hard. We then start to roll over, and I really love using prior bar highs as a stop. And what happens is we actually hold prior bar highs on this daily chart for quite some time. And so technically for me, given this volume capitulation here, this is technically backside for me, where we've broken prior bar lows, we're holding prior bar highs, and this stock really starts to melt. And then what happens on this big down day? DJT issues a filing essentially saying that the company is losing a ton of money. They may not be able to cover their liabilities in the future. Essentially a kind of wake up, Mr. Market. You know, this company is not making money. We need to cover our asses because the operational side is not good here. And the stock absolutely melted that day. What's so interesting to me, though, is this is a big down move, right? We essentially went from 60 to 45. We were barely able to bounce the next couple days. We definitely held in the bottom half of that move after that fresh news catalyst. And so
intraday
that
chart
$45, that aligns with kind of that moving average. We roll over and we break it on this day. And then we proceeded to melt, holding prior bar highs the whole way down for a long while until about $27. So for me at the time, I had actually done a review video somewhere on this, and I thought this was a very interesting setup to backtest and study. And so then I felt like it was worth pointing out that this NVAX ended up setting up in a pretty similar way. Okay. And so now let's analyze this NVAX and some of the pros and cons on its own. So for those that have been trading since 2020, everybody knows Novavax. They were trying to develop a COVID vaccine. Despite like how inflated their stock price was, this ended up not being one of the companies that was able to bring a vaccine to market. And this stock then just subsequently just totally imploded over the coming years. And so what happened in mid-May is essentially this huge gap up and this huge volume here was that they signed a licensing deal with Sanofi. So now all of a sudden, after this company really hasn't had a COVID product for many, many years, now it's, oh man, like maybe this is back in play. This stock used to be way, 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 way higher. And that kind of kicks off this rally. So then in early June, we start to break out, and then we get another series of news. I think this green day is like the 5th, and essentially like NVAX had been doing well with the FDA process, and they were anticipating vaccine release come September, and I believe there was some new strain that that the COVID vaccine makers believe that their vaccines will be able to cover. So all of a sudden it was an extra
not wrong
wave
with
of
saying
oomph.
that, though.
The other thing that I want to point out that I do think is relevant is NVAX was exploding in the 2020-2021 era in the time of like mega meme stock mania. And what's really interesting is this also coincides with GME and AMC really exploding, like kind of this whole move where things were starting to get a little frothy. And so we then gapped up really big the next day following that green bar. And man, that's a pretty big move for us to go to 15. And then I think pre-market we were at like 26 and we just faded off and then melted. And so then we end up kind of finding a little bit of support here. We have our really, really tight inside bars, and then we break that level. And so this was interesting. It also aligned pretty much with that moving average roughly. So what do I think the pros and cons are of each? So one thing, like if I had to pick one, I actually think the DJT is much better overall. Why do I think that?
Volatility and the fact
I think
that
the
they're
reason
losing
why
money.
I'm so into the DJT is really two big things. One, this ticker had mega volume capitulation in late March on that big gap up day. So all of that volume turnover, all of these people that bought these couple days are way out of the money.
And they have a question.
Whereas in
Where's your
NVAX,
stop?
a lot of the volume and the turnover really happened in mid-May, but at a much lower price. So a lot of the holders, like I tend to think about the psychology of the holders involved. And so you get a huge turnover of shares.
That's right,
but it's
these
down at
guys
8, 9,
stop
10 bucks.
is
And yeah,
like
we do a fair
probably
amount of volume,
$10,
but nothing compared
maybe
to what we did as far
$8
as the
if you're
turnover
really like,
in mid-May.
I don't care about,
Whereas with this
until the
DJT,
stock really
we do
gaps
so
back
much
below
volume
$8,
turnover up
so
in the 60s and
you're
70s.
not really worried
and
about
all
these
of
guys.
that volume
But DJT,
is way out of the money.
yeah,
The other
big
big
buying
thing
volume
for
or selling
DJT
volume,
is
whatever,
I
but a lot
consider
of
this
people buying
backside, right?
here.
This had a volume capitulation. We failed really hard.
Yeah.
We've broken prior bar lows. And so this to me is backside, which I guess
Like, look at the amount of volume
Novavax is as
traded
well.
in the higher
But then
end over here
the real
compared to the
killer
volume
is
in
this
this whole
has
range.
fresh news on this day with the filing, and we're just not able to bounce from that news whatsoever. So then when we break below that $45, the low of the day, I really think that's such a psychological
gonna have a big
crap.
volume tomorrow, guys. It's
like,
gonna be
what is
very
the floor on this? If this
interesting.
company's losing money,
Watch
right?
DJT for a fact.
It's coming from 15
If you
bucks.
don't
So
watch
what is the
DJT
floor
tomorrow,
going
you're
to
gonna
be?
be very upset
Essentially,
with
now you
yourself.
have this negative
promise.
news catalyst that is crushing the stock, and you're breaking below these lows. Whereas NVAX didn't really have any negative news catalyst. If anything, a lot of this volume is still in the money. We don't have any extra tension and oomph. Like, okay, yes, maybe we went a little too far, too fast in
Oh, you
the
guys can't even see
high
his
to
face.
mid
That's
20s.
hilarious.
But it doesn't have the same oomph as fresh news. Oh my God, this company is losing money. What's it going to be worth when we can't bounce and break that? That being said, I do kind of think that both of these patterns are worth going for. And the way I would do this is simply as a swing trade where I'd be shorting the break using prior daily bar highs and kind of just trailing that. And so it's interesting. Like, I do think DJT was better. It did end up working out better indeed. And not, that part is hindsight. Like, I try, I'm a lot of this stuff I'm looking at in real time, but then by the time I produce these videos, it ends up being a lot of time later. And so this NVAX, I wouldn't have thought the reward was so great. But that being said, this stock was also coming from 4, and the initial news put it at around 9, 10 bucks. So the meat on this bone is pretty hefty as well. So this did work a little bit. You probably made a point or two, but I could have seen this actually fail quite a bit more as well. That being said, one of the other, I guess, cons of both charts, and particularly for this NVAX, is we have a fair amount of consolidation in here in this like $14, $15 area, which I consider price acceptance. So this is kind of the equilibrium price for NVAX, and even for DJT, you really do have an equilibrium price over the last couple months around 40, 45. So those are another slight con on this, but big
like he
picture,
starts off normal and then he goes high pitch.
People that are scared and questioning what is
Talks
the value
normal
of this
and then he goes off high pitch.
My personal opinion, DJT was better than NVAX for the reason I mentioned. Probably both were worth going for. Even if I cover up the outcome, I still would have that view. And I think this NVAX probably, even though it didn't perform so well, I really think it probably could have done much better given everything. It's a pretty interesting pattern, and I think this is the type of thing where like you can start to scan and filter for. If you don't know how to filter for different daily chart patterns, there's tons of programs out there. One that I use is stockfetcher.com. I have no affiliation with them. stockfetcher.com. Very robust program to pretty much filter out different daily charts, and you can start to filter for these patterns and study the nuances as far as the news, the volume capitulation, the different types of bounces, and try to make this play your own and see whether there's efficacy by back testing or forward testing it. So thank you so much for watching. Any questions, give me a holler on YouTube or Twitter. Thank you so much.
So you're an active trader.
Hit that subscribe, baby. Hit that subscribe. Okay, we watched that one. Okay, let's watch this one.
Proprietary trading firms located in New York City since 2005 and proud to develop numerous 7 and even 8-figure per year traders. Watch, take notes, and learn from a professional proprietary trader on our desk so you can grow your trading account.
Today in 5 minutes, maybe it'll be a little bit longer than 5 minutes, but basically in 5 minutes, we're going to try and come up with a plan. Most traders that I know use at least these 3 things. So the first thing is you need to have a small list of stocks to trade. You should have a list of stocks, really small. You trade them every day so that you actually get a feel for them. Every experienced trader supposedly has these small lists of stocks that they really have a feel for.
That's
right?
the Magnificent Seven for me.
You want to make sure that you're trading the open and the close, because that's where most of the volume is traded on the day, right? The open is where you'll see all the volume and the price movement, and the close is where you'll see all the volume and the price movement, power hour, right? The third thing is you always need to work on your trading psychology every day. You're the only thing that's really holding yourself
don't get tilted
back in your trading.
Talking to myself, don't get tilted.
Well, actually, don't focus on any of that. I know everybody's heard those pieces of advice, but I actually don't know any experienced trader that's actually making money that focuses on those 3 things.
Ooh.
I don't see anybody walking around focused on those 3 things. When I look around at the traders that I interact with, the traders that I know are making money consistently, the traders that are really putting up big days, what I see is they're letting the trades find them.
Okay.
So they're not coming in with a list of stocks that they're going to trade every day no matter what.
Right.
They're actually using dynamic scanners to kind of find where the trades are going to be offered to them each day, and then thinking about where they have an edge.
Check out trade ideas.
So they're going to use a volume scanner, a news scanner, price alerts, even technical analysis scanners. All those work, but on their own, they tend to struggle to be a little bit dynamic. And what we found is that you need to focus on stocks in play. Then you need to layer on the setup and then actually find the trades, those specific trades that have that high probability in the setup. So what we're looking for is, maybe we're using a price alert, but we're using that combination of the setup and then the trade itself. And we're not coming in every day and saying, I need to trade Tesla because Tesla moves every day, or I need to trade NVIDIA because NVIDIA moves every day. I have a really good feel for this stock. If you're doing that, what you're doing is you're saying, I know how all the other participants in this stock are going to act all the time.
Yeah.
Well, what if there's fresh news in that stock? What if it breaks out of a range? What if
That's why you
something
want to
fundamentally
trade
shifts
stocks
in the
that have
market?
a catalyst,
And
right?
other
That have relative
participants are
volume.
involved
Like
in that
Nvidia moves
stock.
every day, yes.
Well, then you no
But
longer
there was a
have
time
a
where
feel
Nvidia was stuck in
for
like
the way
a
that stock trades.
$5
In
range
fact,
when it was moving like $10,
you're going to have a feel for the way
right?
it used
Tesla
to trade,
was stuck
but
in
you're
a
not going to have a
$5
feel for
range
the
when
way it's
Tesla
trading
moved $10,
today.
$20.
But if you're
So,
focused on stocks
if
that
you
are
think about
moving,
that
that
and
are
going
showing
to
range that
trade
other
Tesla only
participants
every
are
day,
always
you're gonna miss
involved
out on some
in,
opportunities, some
then you're
going to
be able to dynamically move
DJT tomorrow.
to where those
if you go in
participants
thinking
are
I'm only going
you're
to
going to be able to
my
trade
Magnificent
and
7
play
and that's
a
it.
really winnable game
Because I know how to trade my
in
Magnificent
different
7.
sorts of stocks
And DJT is
that
where
have
the
higher
money making
EV,
opportunity
you
is
know, that
tomorrow.
expected
And
value
you're not
of the
ready for
trade
it. You're going to
working.
miss out on it.
They're going to have
right?
better
You're gonna miss out on it.
follow through. They're going to have much better risk reward. It's just a much better way to trade. So everything we do when we're building alerts to let trades find us, we do very dynamically with our technology. So we do this with the scalp radar, and more about the scalp radar later. But you know,
this is
with
them
the
trying to
scalp
sell
radar,
their,
with any of
sell
our
their
technology,
code
our
and their
list actually
technology here.
changes each and every day because we expect the participants that are involved in these different
So this is
stocks
basically these
are the
are
ones that are going to provide us those trading.
these are the different setups. Okay, these are the different setups. This is probably their own software that they built in the back end that it's integrated with their and so on. They set up the alerts, they get the alerts and so on. You can do this on other software too, such as Trade Ideas, maybe even Stock Fetcher, maybe even your own broker. You can set alerts and so on. But for that, you need to have first a proven setup with proven edge. Right, it has an edge. It's back tested. It's back testable. It has parameters that you can define. Without all of that, you won't be even able to get this far. So you got to have a setup first. You got to have a setup
In these
first.
different stocks are the ones that are going to provide us those trading opportunities. And those trading opportunities are dynamic. They're not static across the same names every single day. We expect those other participants, those big players, to move where they have to move each day. So we should expect to move where we have to move every day. So you're going to start your prep for each day with those in-play names. And ideally, you're going to take those names, that dynamic
Takes me about
list,
30
and
minutes
you're going to get it down
or
to
so
2
every morning. I get into work at 8:30.
Names. If you're
About
looking more than
8:30
2,
to
we've
9
just found
o'clock,
it's
I'm
really
scanning
tough
stocks,
to
I'm
focus on
scanning
that. And if you
charts,
struggle
I'm
focusing
scanning
on
levels
2,
for the
you can even
stocks
go
that
down to
reported
1.
pre-market.
But
And then
anything more
the
than
stream
2
offers
tends
me
to
to
be
get ready for
a
stocks that
lot,
move
unless
the day
there's
before
one general
for possible
idea
day
you're
2
executing.
plays.
But
And
that's
then
sort of a
kind of get
specific
ready for
example. We
stocks
can
that
talk
might
about that
have
later.
a day 1
Ideally,
play just
2
based on
in-play
earnings or
names
based
to focus
on most
on
recent
through the
news or
open.
whatever, right?
And then
so that's how
we'll
I
even
prep my
share
watch
a
list,
couple
and in the
trades that you can
pre-market,
actually
my
look for.
watch list
But
changes
that
a little
takes
bit.
us into our second point, which is on the open, you know, there's a lot of volatility, but usually in that volatility is the least amount of clarity. For the people that say, I only trade the open and I only trade the close, that's great, but you're trading at the points that are typically the least clear. It's like the intro of a really good book, right? If you just read the opening, the first chapter of a book, and you read the last chapter of the book, would you understand what happened in that book? Well, likely. That intro sets the stage for the book. It sets the tone. It sort of develops the expectation of what you can think about happening in that book. But if you're to stop reading after that intro, then jump to the end, you're going to know what happened, but you're actually going to miss most of the real story. And there's so much edge in that story. So here's an example that you're seeing from this week, and we'll actually share the Spencer Scalp cheat sheet. It's a really good, it's a very specific cheat sheet. And this is a really good trade that you can make in the morning and in the midday. So we're avoiding the open and we're avoiding the close with this trade, this scalp specifically. So if you don't have filters or alerts or technology that helps you identify the trading opportunities after the open, it means you're more likely just sticking to a narrative that you read the opening for and maybe you read the close for, but you're not adjusting to what's happening. You're less likely to see those things just fall into your lap, see them develop for you intraday. And as a result, what we've seen is you're probably not going to be adding to your P&L very effectively through the day. You're more likely to get these big P&L spikes through the day and then whittle away at it, grind down, grind down, grind down. And then maybe at the end of the day, if you don't get that big P&L spike to take you back up to your P&L high on the day, you're actually even more frustrated. And then even worse, carrying that frustration into the next day. It sort of is a pattern that can create this awful loop.
Where's my email?
Where you're doing something well, but then everything else is taking away from it. And then you have to do something well again to keep yourself going in that right direction. If you're using the opportunities like what you see in the Spencer scalp
what's
here,
up, John?
again,
I answered your DJT question at the start of the stream today.
You can take advantage
very
of the
excited for
opportunities
DJT
through
tomorrow.
the day.
Very,
so you
very
can trade
excited.
the open.
I think it goes up tomorrow.
You can trade the morning and the midday
goes up
with very specific setups, and ideally with some technology that's going to help you find those specific trades. And then into the close, you can build momentum through the day and then carry that on to the next day. The third point about working on your psychology, I think trading psychology is this beautiful thing that everybody tends to get wrong, but it's a really fundamental part of what we do. We're just doing it in the wrong way so many different times. So traders on our desk do this daily report card. Lance has talked about it. There's a great video that Lance has done about the DRC, daily report card. Now, one thing that happens is you do your daily report card and then you share that with other traders on your team, in your pack. This daily report card sometimes can turn into this like Dear Diary type note, right? So you're saying, Dear Daily Report Card.
Yeah.
I promise to never make this trading mistake again. I need to work on my trading psychology because of this. Well, whenever you're writing that, it's not really
a lot of people that turn it into stories and diaries.
It's not really reflective of the traders that are using that daily report card and making real improvements. It's not really reflective of the traders that we see growing on the desk and reaching new P&L highs month after month after month. Those traders are intensely grounded, and their daily report cards are intensely grounded in trading edge. A simple practice is they're highlighting the easiest trade of the day that they saw, and then they actually mark up the chart. They share the specific way that they did or they would have executed on that clear trade.
The write-ups that I talk about.
The write-ups. Why they would have had
just writing about how, I messed up and I should have done this, I should have done that. This doesn't help. You gotta talk, and looking at the trade that you traded also is not that helpful. You know what you did. You know you messed up. Writing essays about how you messed up isn't gonna help you. But writing essays about a stock that you might have wanted to trade but you didn't because you were scared because you lost on a different stock or whatever, right? Like Nvidia moved or Tesla. You didn't trade Tesla on Friday.
Somebody's like, yeah, I saw that as well. That's a great observation.
Thursday, right?
We
you
really
didn't trade Tesla on that big down day on Thursday. Why didn't you trade it? How could you have traded it? Instead of writing essays about the trades that you took and how bad you did on those ones, write up a trade template. How would you have traded Tesla? How did people trade Tesla? How did professional people on the Twitter sphere trade Tesla on that day? Write up a template about that. Create a memory bank of good setups, of good trades, and use them to propel yourself instead of just writing endless journals about how you traded and I need to get better.
We're not really working on our trading
by tracking the right trades
and hoping that
right?
helps.
And that was a tip that my manager told me too. My manager was like, you spent hours and hours writing up on your trades
and knowing our trading and the improvements there will actually
that you should have taken.
This
is the trade that you should have taken. Right? And
it's
then
kind
I
of
was
sad
like,
how easy it is to hear or read something and then we attach our thinking to that. So maybe you saw something on Twitter, maybe you heard somebody say something, and sometimes it's even grounded in someone's individual experience and they're trying to share that. Other times it's just something that maybe that person heard and they're trying to add value to you in your trading, but they don't understand the context that you're dealing with entirely. From our seat and my seat, I'm really lucky here. We get to learn at scale. We have 50 traders working in packs every single day.
Jesus Christ.
Looking at the trading opportunities existing in the market, looking to get better in their trading, looking to actually reach the objectives that most traders set out to obtain.
But that guy's not really trading right now.
We have 1,000 traders in our community, all working to obtain the objectives that every trader sets out to obtain. We have developers helping us build specific technology, things like the scalp radar, other tools that we develop specifically for each individual trader on the desk. We have trading advisors working with us. We mentioned Lance earlier. He works with us. We're really lucky because we get to see what works, and not just with a sample size of 1 or 2 or 3, but a sample size of 50 and a sample size of 1,000. And then we get to share those insights with you because we've actually seen what works for more people more often, and then we work to create solutions around that.
Well, that's that. And to wrap off the stream over here, no chess tonight because we spent a lot of time watching videos. To wrap off the stream over here, I have to add one more stock to the watch list because this stock is having a stock split tomorrow, and it is in the semiconductor sector. That's right, AVGO. Add that to your watch list tomorrow. We'll be interested to see how this one moves. Having a stock split trade, 10-1. Same like NVIDIA. So gonna watch that one along with DJT and all the other stocks mentioned today. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of the stream. Thank you for following me. Thank you for watching. Sorry, no chess today, but we'll be back tomorrow with all that chess streaming, trading, streaming, and all that fun stuff. Go check out my Linktree page. I'm gonna paste that in all 3 streams at the moment. Give me a second. There you go. All 3 stream chats have that Linktree page. At the top of the page, you have my socials: Discord, Twitter, YouTube, Twitter, Discord, Twitch, Instagram, TikTok. Go give them a follow. Affiliate sponsors, trade ideas, Trader Sync. Use code PRAD15 at the checkout to get 15% off. And Benzinga Pro, make sure you go check them out. We use Benzinga Pro daily on stream to read earnings reports. We will see that tomorrow, Monday, all the way to Thursday, 8 o'clock. Make sure you tune in, and a couple other links over here that you can feel free to check out, such as my Patreon. If you support me on Patreon, you get my watch list sent to you directly to your watch list, and a couple other added benefits. Go check out my Patreon page. And if you want to break up with your girlfriend, or you want to wish your dad a happy birthday in a stupid, funny way, you can hire me on Cameo. Go check out all that fun stuff. Last but not least, since TH mentioned Ani's name, shout out to Ani for a promotion in the TraderPrad LLC. She is now the official social media manager for Twitter. So and she is in charge of basically growing my Twitter follows. But if it's up to me, I'm going to keep ruining it because I go to war with people on Twitter. I'm joking. I had some fun trolling people on Twitter with the whole Trump thing that happened recently, and a lot of people got upset with me. I had fun trolling. But yeah, Ani, shout out to Ani. Let's see if she can do her magic, which is, she's really good at growing social media channels. She has grown multiple accounts herself. So let's see if she can do some magic with the trading world, because she doesn't really know too much about trading. And if she does, she's going to be helping your boy TraderPrad quite a bit. And hopefully we bring in more people watching this. Until then, though, ladies and gentlemen, wrap up the stream. Time to play in the outro. Let me bring in the outro here. Time to head out. Time to head out. It's good night. I wish you guys a great day tomorrow. Have a banger day. DJT, Joby, Banks, AVGO, Rivian, Lucid, Carvana, large cap stocks, NVIDIA. So a lot of fun tomorrow. It's going to be interesting. Let's make some money. Monday to Thursday, 8 p.m. Sunday, 6 p.m. TraderPrad out. Good night. Ciao. Get ready for the watch list for tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm gonna bring in my big screen over here. Back to another brand new week of After the After Hours with your host TraderPrad. I'm doing great. Hopefully you guys are joining me on that great side. Markets are moving around. Might just be a risk on type of day. So let's see what happens. 8 o'clock tomorrow, as you guys know, we do the stream Monday to Thursday, 8 p.m. Shout out to my affiliate sponsors, Benzinga, Trade Ideas, the #1 scanner to go to,
traders think. Promo code down below. Promo code PRAD15 to get 15% off. I will catch you guys tomorrow, 8 o'clock, same time, same place. Until then, TraderPrad out. Adios.